Welcome everyone to the Moo Movie Podcast, where we're taking a look into films from across the globe, and we're going to talk about them with their creators to get a better sense of them and what they've created. Today I'm joined by Miles Westbury, the director of the film Redacted. I'll be asking him a series of questions relating to the work that he's created and the production process behind his project. Welcome, Miles.
Hi, Mrs. Westbury. Thank you for having me. I'm very excited to be here.
That's great. It's great to have you. So, Miles, we're going to get straight on into it. And the first couple of questions I have for you is, how did your camera work improve over the past year? And were there any challenges with the filming of Redacted?
Oh, that's a really good question. I would say this year I was a lot more hands-on with my camera work. As like even as the director, I did do quite a lot of filming. So there were projects near the start of the year where I was filming, but I'll just talk mainly about the Redacted filming. So for Redacted, the first film shoot that we did, so we did two. The first one, I didn't do any camera work because I'm not the director of photography. That was Oliver Zhang's job, and he's knows his way around the camera. He's very adept with it. But for me, so I just kind of let him do his thing. So I was just directing him, like, oh, hey, camera, we want this shot. Can we do that? He was like, yeah, let's do this shot. I'm like, I love that. That's a great idea. Establishing shot. Or no, I think that should be a wide shot. So it was very, conversational based kind of work. However, we did plan to have a second shoot. It was kind of not really an emergency shoot, but what happened was Oliver Zhang couldn't actually come, our director of photography, so I actually had to step in, and me and my other partner, Oliver Finnegan, kind of took turns filming. I did majority, like the bulk of the filming that shoot, but it was really fun, and it was interesting because Oliver Zhang, I mean, had a very great way of filming. He talked with everyone, and so I was not new to it, but I'm not the best with a camera. I'm normally the person behind saying, "Do that, do the," and so it was really a different experience for me, but it was really fun because it was just relaxing evening. And so anyway, so the second shoot was more or less filming all the shots with James, our main actor. His scenes being the high school student coming home. It was really good because we had a gimbal. So I'd used a gimbal earlier in the year, so I was like figuring that out, like linking it and getting it to calibrate so that it would work. However, it was really interesting. Well, not interesting, but about maybe 3/4 of the way through the shoot, the second shoot, the gimbal just would not work. I have no idea why. Me and Oliver spent, I think, way too long trying to figure it out. Probably, sorry, half an hour, and it was like, it's not working. So then we decided we would just do it with our hands. There were quite a few shots we tried to get that we couldn't because it was out of our capabilities, especially when the gimbal started acting up. So with camera work, it was very, oh, okay, how are we going to do this? I think it was really cool because we had to try and figure it out. So a lot of them camera shots that we did end up just being tracking shots or trying to stay still with the camera, which I think it all worked out because editing, you can do a lot with editing, can't you? Yeah, the filming was good. I think my camera skills have definitely improved throughout the year because of that, because obviously I did do some filming beforehand last year, and I'm not the best around a camera, but I've definitely started. I think it's one of those things, it's just all about practice. The more you use it, the better you get, and understanding like, oh, the lighting's over there, so I need to take the video or photo from this angle. It was awesome like that. Yeah.
Cool. Well, another question I have is about lighting. So
Oh
obviously
yeah.
for filming you need good lighting.
Mm.
So my next question is, how did you find the lighting when filming, and Did you have to do much editing with the lighting and colour grading?
So, I'll talk specifically for Redacted just now. So for Redacted, the lighting was really interesting because for whatever reason at the time, we decided we would shoot at nighttime. I think because that was when everyone was free, it worked best with everyone's schedules. And it also kind of meant there wouldn't be as much noise because we were filming not in a busy street, but you hear a car and it'll probably get picked up. So it was very like, you need to film when there's not going to be as much noise. So we decided to film closer at night during winter. So there wouldn't be as much like background noise that we had to edit out. So the lighting was not very bright. So especially with the reporter scene of Redacted, you'll notice that he's standing outside with a giant like bush hedge behind him. And what we did with that was we got these really bright light bars. You know what a light bar is. We got 2 of them, and we had an additional worker there. Xavier was the one holding it up. And we did a test with another actor to see if it was working. It was working for her, so we did it, and it ended up looking really good. Our lighting for the second shoot, so when we were doing it with James, the lighting wasn't great, but we ended up getting a professional camera. Oliver Zhang has an uncle in the industry, so he had a professional, not camera, light. So we learned how to set that up. It was massive. I mean, it was hard. When he wasn't there the second photo shoot, we had to figure out how to use it, and I tell you, we spent a good hour on that, honestly. But it was really fun. We learned how to use it, which was awesome. So we basically, every time we did a shot of James, we'd have more or less the lighting behind him just to make it extra bright, but we had to figure out how to not get it so that his shadow's really over-exaggerated in a lot of shots. So yeah, and with editing for color grading and lighting, I did do a fair amount for Redacted, I would say. Obviously for the final cut for me, Oliver Zhang and I worked together, so we did do some color grading. For my first cuts, not so much, but like I know with a few other projects that depends on what the questions are, I might later bring up, but the lighting for one of them was really, really bright. The sun was out that day. It was really difficult, and I had to learn on YouTube how to color grade. It was tough. Yeah.